Hey besties, welcome back to another YouTube video. If you're new, welcome to the family, and if this is your first time coming across this video, chances are you want to know, I didn't introduce myself now, did I? My name is Noma Kosi Mabuza, but you can call me Noma for short. Now, the reason you're here is probably because you teach English and your classes are not being booked as much as you'd like them to be booked, or you're thinking of going into teaching English. You've come to the right place. Sit down, grab a seat, and let's roll the clip. Okay, so chances are you clicked on this video because you want to know why you are not getting booked or why your classes have dropped, as well as how to change the situation. So I've got 6 reasons why and 6 tips on how to change that and hopefully get you back into being fully booked. You know what I mean? Because we want money. We here for the money. All right, so the first problem or the first reason why you are potentially not getting booked is because of your schedule consistency. Norma, what do you mean? All right, so most people start teaching English. Some of them teach it as a side hustle, as it has come to be known, or part-time, and some people actually teach it as full-time. Now, obviously, this is a company. They are here to generate money, full-time or part-time, but they're here to generate money. So obviously they are going to prioritize people who are full-time teachers. So if you open your schedule, let's say this weekend you open 4 hours and it's like 8 to 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 to 12, and then next weekend you're like, nah, I'm not busy from 12 until later on, so I'll teach in the afternoon and things like that. The scheduler will realize that you are teaching part-time and your students that actually like you might not be able to get you at the time they want you. So with every cancellation that you do, every slot that you close, if you're opening slots and closing them, and every time you are posting or putting a reason as to why you cannot attend a lesson, scheduler is realizing that this person does not prioritize the company. It's not a bad thing, but it's just for them to say, we're going to give work to the people that actually prioritize our business. So whatever company you're working with, you need to understand that they're business first and they need to make profits and pay everybody, including yourself. So the best thing to do would be to stick to a schedule. Whatever schedule you've set for yourself, stick to it. And I'll tell you why this is important beyond just scheduler fidgeting or managing your classes in a way that's not favorable to you. So let's go to reason number 2. Reason number 2 as to why your bookings are not as frequent or your students are they're not coming back, man. You have a good lesson with them and then they're gone and they're not returning. The second reason is that your lessons are just boring. I said what I said. I'll drink to that. And I know, Guti, this seems a bit mean. It seems a bit harsh, but it is the honest truth. Your lessons are just plain down boring. And I've watched a couple of lessons. There are people who have lessons and they'd have them on another platform. And when you're doing the bare minimum in a lesson, like when you go on a date and somebody's just literally, they are doing the bare minimum. That's what you're doing in the lesson. You're reading the slides and you're asking the questions that are there. You don't engage. When you conduct a lesson, you need to engage with your students, ask them questions, ask them follow-up questions, build questions from what you've just read. So don't just take the information as it is and give it right back to the student. You are facilitating the lesson, but you are also checking for comprehension. And at the end of the day, this is a client. So you need to make sure that this client wants to come back to your class, not just you here, I'm teaching you now, and you know what, whatever happens tomorrow, it's none of my business. I did what I was paid to do. It's all good and well now until you don't have any more clients. Then you're going to be sitting there and being saying, why? So to remedy this situation, the best thing that you can do for yourself is to make sure that you engage with the student, you ask them relevant questions, and you speak to them. Be interesting, smile, crack a joke if there's room for one, or if the student's level of understanding is where they can, receive jokes. Crack a joke, but don't be a boring teacher just reading through the PPTs that are there and asking the questions that are there and moving on to the next slide. So also watch out for that. And just another thing, don't finish your lessons before time, but also if your student says they need to go and attend to something, let them go. You need to know when to let them go, because some clients will not come back because you finished your lessons early, and others will not come back because they didn't feel the space to actually go and attend to other things. So if your student says, listen, I need to go and attend to something else, you say, no problem, I'll be here until the end of the lesson. So that's number 2. Make sure that your lessons are interesting, engaging, and fun to be in. Okay, reason number 3 as to why your bookings are low is feedback. You're not giving accurate feedback. So I know with most English lessons you have to give feedback at the end of the class. You need to give accurate, respectful, and informative feedback. Writing, you thank you for coming, you did well in the class, is not helpful, especially when a student is trying to monitor their growth and their development in learning the English language. So you need to give a detailed report, not too long, not too short, but make sure that it's informative, it's respectful. So when I started teaching English, this is one of the methods that we were taught to write a report. You sandwich it very nicely. So the not so nice part about it, like where they need to improve, and you put it in a very nice manner, like cheese, like good cheese, like Swiss cheese in between the sandwich. So the top part, you thank them, you tell them what they did, what you did. Maybe you reflect back. Why am I speaking so fast? Sorry, you reflect back on what you did and you let them know, say thank you for participating and whatnot. Then you say, you try and focus on your speaking to improve your fluency. It's always important to tell somebody, if you tell somebody to do something, also tell them why they should do that, so that there's a motivation behind doing something and a very clear understanding as to why they're doing something. So tell them that, and then at the end you just say, keep up the good work and I look forward to seeing you soon. That is informative, that is detailed, it is short, sweet, straight to the point. But if you are not giving accurate feedback, you just like, thank you for coming, you did a great job, I hope to see you soon. The student can't even remember what they did in the class, hey? They're not even sure if you can remember. And if they keep coming back and they keep coming back to your class, and when now you keep writing the same reports, no, that's not gonna work. So acknowledge and tell them that from the time I've met you, I've seen so much growth. Maybe you've had this student for a week, or it's a regular student. Monitor their growth. Show them that you're monitoring their growth as a student, that you've improved your reading, you've improved your pronunciation, your grammar, your grammar as well, your sentence structure has developed so well, So that's number 2. Make sure you give accurate feedback and also actually know what the client wants to do, because even if it's reading material, but if the client said they want to speak, give them the opportunity to speak. Ask them questions that will prompt them to speak. That's what they want. That's what they paid for. And maybe that's why they're not coming back, because you're not attending to their needs. Okay, now let's go to, I think it's number 5. Listen, I'm not sure, but it should be number 5. Okay, number 5, I actually have a note here, some notes here. So I think in the last one, I actually put 2. So being interesting and giving accurate feedback. All right, so number 5 is all right, so when we teach lessons, obviously you come across students that you feel a connection with. You feel like we both had a good lesson together and you'd like to have them as a regular student. Ask your student to follow you. As a teacher, I know most platforms offer the space for students to follow you. What happens when the students follow you? It's the same thing. You know how on TikTok you want people to follow you, on Instagram you want them to follow you. When you open a slot or when you avail yourself to teach at a certain time and the students avail themselves to teach at that specific time, it does pop up their favorite or teachers or the teachers that they are following as a first option. So you need to make sure that you ask your students to follow you, you ask them to come back and come back again. For example, the company I work for said you should ask the student to give you your heart. I don't feel comfortable saying, please give me your heart, but I do ask my students to say, put me as your favorite teacher so you can come back again and again and again and we can have so much fun. You know what I mean? So that means the student is now going to follow you and you're going to be one of their favorite teachers. And I'll tell you why that is important. But if you don't ask your favorite students to follow you, chances are new students are very reluctant to book teachers they don't know. And new students will take on teachers they don't know. But you build your clientele. By doing that, by asking your students to follow you. Then you have a set amount of students and then you just keep getting more and more. You build from that. So it's very important to ask good students or students who are returning to follow you, or students who say, thank you teacher, I had such a wonderful lesson with you. Tell them, if you'd like to have more wonderful lessons with me, make sure that you follow me. Nijwayele ucela ama-followers. Hayi nijwayele. Niyawacela ka-TikTok, niyawacela ka-Instagram. Cela ama-followers for money. Ask for followers for financial reasons now, not for likes. Okay, let's go to the next reason. I don't know what number I'm on. I'm not sure what number I'm on, but let's go to the next reason. Okay, so this is the next reason. This is one of my personal favorites, and this is one that has allowed me to grow my clientele and the number of clients that I have in terms of teaching English. This is recalling students you've had before. Now, let me grab my mouse. I just want to quickly look through how many students I've had. I'm not saying I remember all of them, but what I can tell you is that I do remember most of them. This is not what I want. I'm just trying to go back to the page where it tells you how many students I've had. So please remember, I've been doing this for some time. My numbers will be quite big. Where are my numbers? There we go. All right, so the number of students I have, the classes I've conducted altogether, 2,597. The number of students that I've taught, 2,923. The number of days that I've been teaching, 1,238. And this is when I started teaching from home. Initially, I taught with a company that was a middleman, and I taught there for almost a year, if not 2. Okay, so these are my numbers. Now, obviously, I won't remember all my clients, all my students. Some are just one-hit wonders, if you know what I mean. But some are recurring and returning students. And those, I do remember them. I will ask them, I ask my students questions at the beginning of the lesson and just before we end off a lesson. And the reason I ask them these questions is because I want to build a relationship and I want to be able to recall them the minute they come into the class and I ask them this question and they tell me, and then I tell them, this is what happened. So let me give you a scenario. I'll create a name. I'll create a name for the students. I'll say her name is Tembi. So obviously there's no client that's Tembi in that side of the world. But let's just say her name is Tembi. Tembi comes into the class Hi Tembi, how are you? I'm fine, teacher. How are you? I'm okay. Now, the beautiful thing about the platform that I'm teaching on is that it does show you that the student has been here before. But even before that, so Tembi, how was your day today? No, I had a wonderful day. And then I'll say, Tembi, we are still waiting for your classmates. Before they come in, I'd like to get to know you better. So Tembi, what job do you do? And then Tembi will tell me about a job. Tembi will tell me about a day. Tembi will tell me why she wants to learn English. And personally, in the back of my head, now I'm recording this and I remember this. And I'll ask, even if there's 6 of them, I promise you I will ask all 6 of them the same question. Now, not all 6 of them are going to be returning, but maybe 2 or 3, and maybe they won't return at the same time. The next time I hear Tembi, I'm a software engineer, I'm learning English because I want to travel, I'll finish that sentence. I will finish that sentence because I will say, Tembi, you've been to my class before. You came into my class and at the end of the lesson, you said you are going to spend time with your child because your job is too demanding. And Tembi will be like, yes, teacher, yes, it's me. You remember? And I'm like, yeah, I remember. And that just makes my clients feel special. And it means that they are special because this is how many clients I have. Sorry, let me just fix my camera. Sorry about that. So look at the number of clients I have and I'm able to recall your information. That means you are special. That means as a student, you did do something right. And as a teacher, I also did my part. I don't think there's anything more important than somebody making you feel special. So that's what I mean when I say try and recall the important information about your student. Try and build a relationship with them. All right, and I think I'm going to wrap this up. So let's wrap this up. Okay, so here are my final thoughts on everything. Let me just sum it up. Please make sure that you keep the same schedule. Try and maintain the same schedule of working times. I know it's not easy, but also remember the business is trying to make a profit. Hey, my camera is not participating today. My tripod is not doing the things. Also, make sure that your lessons are interesting, engaging, and you provide value. The most important thing to provide is value. All right. Also, make sure that you meet your client's needs. So if your client wanted to have a conversation, offer them a conversation. When you give feedback, a report, make sure you write a detailed report, not too long, not too short, but make sure that you actually write a detailed report, not a one-size-fits-all report for your students. Hold on. All right, and also ask your students, your favorite students, to follow you. This will allow you to create a client base. Also, it'll mean that you have clients that you actually enjoy teaching more often, come back to your class. And the last bit is that remember your clients. Ask them questions that will make them engage with you and make you be able to recall them. So that's just to sum up everything. I really hope you found value in this video. If you have any questions for me about teaching English online, please make sure that you comment down below. Follow me on my socials and I'll see you in another video. I'm really guys, I'm really trying to do this once a week. Sometimes it's a bit impossible, but yeah, I'm going to shoot another video and I'm going to be in the exact same way because I try and shoot my videos in one day and then I have videos for like almost the whole month, and I didn't do that, and that's why I was inconsistent. So I'm going to shoot another video and it's probably going to be up next week, and I hope to see you again very soon in the next video. Thank you guys.